Welcome to Well Read, a program about a little bit of this and a little bit of that at your Ames Public Library. Hi, I'm Jerry Hyde, Youth Services Manager, and today we are going to talk about the gift of giving. And the gift of giving includes our wonderful books that we have at our library that you can check out to see if you'd like to give it to that special someone, and then purchase it or just share it when you're at home together. And with me is Danielle, who typically does this program with me. This is a yearly program, kind of a routine now for us. A tradition, and a tradition of sharing some of the best books that we feel are good gift books. And just a little aside, many of these will also be in the best books of 2017. So just FYI. So Danielle, I understand that you would like to start with the teen books this year.
Yeah.
So we kind of go backwards of,
Yes.
of who we serve.
Start with the very oldest. So I'm going to start with The Great Green Heist. I don't know if you want to hold that. So this is a fantastic book, one of a series of 2 so far. And this is a hard one to describe to kids because it's so easy to describe to parents as being that Ocean's 11, but for middle schooler, this is a great middle school book. It's about a young man who realizes that he's not going to be that tricky guy anymore. He's not going to con anyone out of anything. But all that changes when someone crooked is running for school president, and the girl that he likes and who is no longer speaking to is also running. And so he decides he and all his friends have to come together for that last great heist to make sure it's a fair.
And I suppose you're not going to tell us who wins the school president, but you will find out.
Yes.
If you happen to read this book.
So it's just really fun. Give it to that kid who wants a good school story, little tad bit of someone who's thinking about liking girls. Good for girls and boys. So,
all right.
Great book.
The Great Green Heist by Varian Johnson.
Well, I have Song of the Current this year, and this is a brand new one, or pretty new, 2017. And I love it because it has pirates, and who doesn't love pirates? It's about a really strong female character who decides that she has to take her father's boat to get him out of jail. They're river boaters. They travel the river and everything, but she has to take smuggle some cargo to get him out of jail. And it turns out that there's a lot of political stuff going on, but pirates and magic and romance. It's just a really fun read for that kid maybe who likes fantasy with some romance in there.
It says on the back here from Kirkus Reviews, it gave it a star review, and it says, the right amount of epic fantasy, sea voyage, and the romance of rollicking, swashbuckling adventure.
Yeah.
So sounds like a great adventure book. Can we kind of go to a fairy tale though?
Sure.
This one, well, either one, Snow White is one that is a very interesting rendition of the old tale of Snow White, and only it's done for that young adult audience. So tell us a little bit about it.
It's a little darker, but not so dark that you would hesitate to give it to maybe a 6th, 7th grader who is interested. It's also a graphic novel. So
let's explain that. Let me open it up.
So a graphic novel is a book told through pictures, and some of the older watchers or readers might know it as comic books, but they're a lot deeper maybe than what you think of as the comic book. So this one is great I would even give it to adults because it's just so beautifully done. And it's very 1930, like it's set in New York City during the Depression, very 1930s, film noir maybe.
Yes.
It's
Lots
fun.
of nice little twist on that Snow White tale. So shall we go ahead and go to our juvenile fiction books?
Yeah.
And I'd like just to point out, we won't highlight it. Well, we'll highlight it, but we won't talk about it. Is Some Writer, all about E.B. White. And it is, if you've got a nonfiction reader in your midst, then that is a great read. And the way the illustrations are done are very, very interesting. In fact, I think we all thought it was going to be a Caldecott winner book last year, but well, anyway,
Sometimes
let's
we're
go ahead.
surprised.
Yes, we are definitely. So we've got Neil Gaiman and the Fortunately the Milk. And now, what can time travel and milk have to do with each other?
So this one is hilarious. Read it with that kid who likes silly things. I've given it to so many families to read aloud as well. So if you're a family who likes to read aloud together or wants to start, this would be such a fun gift to give. But it is about a father who goes out to get the milk one morning, and his kids are at home staring at their milkless bowls of cereal, and they can't figure out why their dad's taking so long. Well, he comes back and he tells them that he was late because he met up with a time-traveling dinosaur in a hot air balloon time-traveling thing. So it's really funny, really silly.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Let's go. Another kind of fun one, too, is all about Waylon. And Waylon's a very interesting, laughing out loud, fun book, too. So tell us about Waylon.
Waylon is you might be familiar with Clementine by Sarah Pennypacker, and she has moved on to Waylon. This is one awesome thing, and Waylon is just, it's a great realistic fiction book, so true life, but hilarious for those kids who have just moved up into like some of the harder chapter books.
And now Clementine is in his same class, and Waylon, so it's a character in the same classroom.
Yeah, so you might know, some kids may know Waylon already.
Who Waylon is, but this book is all about Waylon.
Yeah.
So
Science, too. He's a scientist. So
and we need to just touch on this one because I know this is a favorite and a repeat from years past and in many of our favorites of the best of best. So Princess in Black, tell us a little bit about this one.
You can never go wrong with a princess who has a secret crime-fighting alter ego, the Princess in Black, who fights monsters, who wants to eat they want to eat goats. And it's a wonderful first chapter book because it's got these beautiful illustrations, full color, lots of white space. So if you're looking for a gift to give to that kid, boy or girl, both love The Princess in Black.
And now this is a series as well, so you don't have to stop at just one.
Yep,
You can
there's 5 so far. I read them to my 4-year-old. He loves them.
And then I think we need to mention Dave Pilkey.
Yeah, Dog Man. So this is the same guy who does Captain Underpants. This is his new series. Really, really silly. It's about a cop who has the head of a dog and the body of a cop, and he's solving crimes. So very funny. Another graphic novel. So, just fun. Kids are going to love this. If you give this to them, they're going to be like, oh, you're so cool, you know about Dog Man.
And what I like is the introduction has a little bit of tie into the Super Baby and
the Captain Underpants.
Captain Underpants. So a nice transition into another funny story. Notice that we've got lots of funny things, but now we're going to transition into something a little bit more serious.
Yes.
I know when again, it's a graphic novel, and it's all about real friends. And when I was reading this, I couldn't help but think about my granddaughters in middle school, and I would highly recommend it to middle schoolers in there.
And even younger.
And
even elementary school kids, just learning about who is your real friend and who, what you can do. And so this deals with friendship and family, and it's it sounds like it's such a downer, but it's also just really like there's funny parts and there's fun parts.
She has watersheds. Our main
Yeah.
character really has watersheds of like when she finds out why her sister's been this big bear and bad person all these years. And so a little bit of seriousness, but also a little bit of empathetic, growing in empathy and learning that everything isn't just as it seems to be on the surface.
Yeah. So if you know a child who's maybe they've told you that they like the graphic novel Smile or anything by Raina Telgemeier, I would say this one, pick it up.
It is a good companion.
Or even if they haven't told you about that, I think there's not many kids who wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, Real Friend. I mean, that's a great topic that lots of, this is a great way to get to that topic with your grandchildren, in my case, or children. And Shannon Hale this is kind of an autobiography of her life, in which then the illustrator talks about that if you just took away the names, which they were not the real names of Shannon Hale's childhood, but they are all part of everyone's lives. We all have gone through this.
Yeah.
So speaking of going through this, you can't get to that stage until you have a baby.
It's true.
And, or you are a baby. So tell us about this one in your recommendation.
So a lot of people know Mo Willems, the picture books of, The Pigeon and so forth. But this is a Mo Willems Guide for New Arrivals. And it's just really fun. But I actually put it in here because I think it would be nice to give to somebody who just had a baby as a parent. So it's got conditions may vary. There will be turbulence. There will be unexpected events. There will be human error. Fortunately, we are happy to provide you love. And so that's a good message for, that baby in arms, but it's also really good to hear as a new parent.
Right. So it's kind of targeted to the parent, but yet there's words that are very comforting or very important to the baby in arms, as you say. But so Welcome by Mo Willems. He has such a great background in all of his different ones that he's written. So let's go to a beginner reader.
Yeah.
Jump back to that age group.
Elephant and Piggy. I broke my trunk. It is going to be hilarious. Grown-ups are going to love when their kids who are just learning how to read want to read this one to you, because you're going to enjoy it just as much.
Again, hilariously funny, and but a great portrayal of friendship between Elephant and Piggy. And you can't say enough about Mo Willems as far as the greatness of his work. All of it.
Yeah. And not to mention, if you get your kids started on Elephant and Piggy, you're going to read them for a while.
Right.
So that's nice.
Very prolific author. Here's another one similar to Mo Willems. Bob Shea is the author-illustrator with this one. Tell us a little bit about this.
Dance, Dance, and Underpants. So this series is about Ballet Cat. And Ballet Cat loves to do ballet. And she's dancing with this yellow bear in this one who does not want to do leaps because her underwear will show. So already this is going to be a hit. It's a really fun, easier early reader. Get them started, get them going.
And it is a series too. There's more than one Ballet Cat, so it's a very fun. And again, it's got kind of a good ending too. That it's okay to have
embarrassing things
happen to you. You do live through it. All right, so now we're going to switch back to our picture book suggestions. And this one I just thought was just beautiful.
It is. The illustrations are just gorgeous. As you go through it, you have all these animals and where things belong. The trees belong in the wildwood and the deer belong in their shade. And so it's just a beautiful, quiet, snuggle up together book. Makes you feel really loved, I think, as you read it.
Well, and I also liked, you notice that the title is in cursive.
Yeah.
And then, so the title and then when when the adults are talking, it's all in cursive, and then the descriptions of things are in regular type, which I mean, you could read this in several different ways, reading it
Yeah.
aloud, and still get the same message and the same feeling. But yeah, it's just so peaceful. It's just like dreamlike type of things are happening. But this one isn't. Tell us about this one. This is fabulous.
This one is Bob Not Bob, and it is one of the most hilarious books I've ever read. It is about a little boy who has a cold, and he just keeps calling for Bob. He wants his Bob. And his dog, Bob, keeps running, so confused, but he's really calling for his mom. And so it says to be read as though you have the worst cold ever. So it's very funny, but it's very sweet at the same time. Eventually, Mom just crawls in bed, and so does Bob, and they all snuggle up together.
Which is what all of us want when we're very, very sick and our nose is stuffy and we feel awful.
Yeah.
But then poor Mom, because she has done this,
At the very end,
she also,
achoo.
which is always what happens to moms and dads when they have a sick child.
That's just all right.
So, wow, this is such a good book. Of course, all of these are, but tell us about this one.
The Legend of Rock, Paper, Scissors. So this is the dream team of picture books right now. Drew Daywalt wrote the words, Adam Rex drew the pictures, and it is about how the game of rock, paper, scissors started. And it is just so funny. I gave it to every librarian in the youth office. I think I
Yes, we all
shoved in their
laugh.
face, and it's a laugh out loud. It's all scissors versus the roll of tape, and of course Scissors wins because Scissors is just trying so hard to find someone who can beat her. Same with rock and same with paper. In the end, they find each other.
Yes.
And they
All
see.
three of them.
Yeah.
And they all, like you said, want to be beaten. They don't want to win all the time. So a fabulous story. And then of course you could play rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, so many times.
So then we get into some very strong female characters, similar to Princess in Black.
Yeah.
But this one is Princess Truly,
Yeah.
or I Am Truly, but Princess Truly. So tell us about this one.
So, first of all, I love the illustrations. They make her so cute and so girly. And I just thought when I was reading it, I'm like, I wonder if I could give this to people who have read all the Fancy Nancy's. Just
definitely.
because she's so, but it's just who she is. And I Am Truly. And she goes through and she does all these great things. And it's just fun. Also, I like her dog and the sunglasses.
Well, in the back,
picture.
she's in her band
Yeah.
as well with all the rest of them and stuff. But she does. And
She can do
there is
anything, and that
some
comes
really-
across.
Right. There's really wonderful words and wonderful
Yes.
descriptions. So, like, I am confident and I am courageous.
I am a volunteer. So,
Yeah,
everything.
Just a very positive book to give both boys and girls.
Yeah.
Then there's this funny story. The secret ingredients. Shall we tell them what the secret ingredient was?
I don't
not?
know. There might be a kid watching this.
That's true.
We don't want them to know that sometimes grown-ups put vegetables
Right.
in like muffins and things.
Yeah.
But Mitzi Tulane, there's 2 books about Mitzi right now, and she is a little preschool detective, and so she figures things out. She's an investigator. And in this one, she and her friend Max are trying to discover whether or not her dad did put some veggies in these muffins that they're eating. So, of course, they have to go to the crime lab, which is her friends across the hall. And it's a fun...
It is a fun, and it amazed me as I kept turning the pages what great lengths these children went to, or Mitzi went to, in asking her friends and continuing through the hallway and the landlord or custodian and
Yeah.
all the people that they talked to just to find out just little tiny crumbs of the so-called vegetable that
Yeah.
if they would have ate,
They wouldn't even
probably
notice.
tasted.
Yeah.
So, and then we have a really nice poetry book
Yeah.
that I felt really was a very good historical part of all of our different dances that we have in throughout the world and throughout the countries and throughout time periods. So why did you choose this one?
I chose this one because I really like reading poetry to my 4-year-old. And so I'm always on the lookout for poems that are really active and just have a lot going on. Like sometimes I can get one of the quiet, pretty poems in there at bedtime, but most of the time,
He likes all the action. So
Yeah.
it is an action-packed
it is
poetry book,
because of
so.
all the dance. And there's all sorts of things. Like my personal favorite poem in this one about a little boy and his mom who go dancing at the library to learn to swing dance.
Yes.
So, and it does. It has as it says on the front, dance poems that zing from salsa to swing.
Yes.
And not only that, but it has the CD included. And I haven't listened to this CD, but I think there's they put them kind of to music.
Yes. I think you are correct. That so the swing is swing music, and so be able to understand historically what was going on, but also, I mean, it was different countries and
like putting together
dances that were popular.
Not only that, but if you're going somewhere, we're coming into the time of year where people do a lot of traveling. If you're going somewhere, this might be fun to take along. Because you can put that CD in your car and your kids can follow along in the back
poem
seat
as well.
Yep.
All right. Well, we have some board books here as well. And before we close, I bet you want to play and read us or take a look at that one.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
This is Baa Baa Black Sheep, and you can put your finger through there and move that Baa Baa Black Sheep right around. And you can open it up every page. And I just really like this. Kids love to interact with books. Board books should be a toy as well as a book for kids to interact with. And it's just fun. And I also saw the very first day that these got put out on the shelf, a little girl, her dad picked it up and was pointing at her, and just the joy that came over her face, like, oh, a little stuffed animal and a book.
Right. And it's a cute little face as well. Any of the others that you would like to talk about, the board books?
Let's see. They're just all good. I really like Feminist Baby.
You have like a theme here with all these strong female characters.
I do. It's what I look for in book. Well, I also look for strong male characters and strong female characters who are real. But this is just a really fun book to give to that baby who, it just wants to do what she or he wants to do.
On the back it says, meet the irrepressible feminist baby. She's strong, she's smart, and she makes as much noise as possible.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Danielle,
You're
for
welcome.
sharing all the
Thank
different picks that you've done for our gift books. I'd like to close with a couple of thoughts. There are also 2 different books that I would like to recommend for your gift books, and that is a new honor book that the All Iowa Reads for Youth and All Iowa Reads for Teen Award was just highlighted, and the youth one was Ghost by Jason Reynolds, and the young adult one was Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hess. And those books look for them throughout the next year, 2017, 2018, I guess. Oh, that's surprising. During 2018 for some book clubs across the state of Iowa, and hopefully some visits from the authors as well, but that's all in the making. But this is the premier year of this particular honor, and so again, Ghost by Jason Reynolds and Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hess. All right, so this is one of my favorites of your favorites all year long. So The Rooster Who Would Not Be Quiet, a wonderful little tale about a rooster who would not be quiet, and what happens to him?
everything bad happens to this rooster. He gets put in jail, or it was like a bird cage, because he would not be quiet because he's in a town where there's not supposed to be any noise.
Or music.
Or singing, dancing. It's a brand new book, but it kind of reads like an old folk tale. And this rooster just refuses to give up who he is. And I think that's a great message for kids, that you need to stand up for who you are and what you believe. And it's couched in a really fun book. Look at those illustrations.
Yeah,
they're just
they're
gorgeous,
great.
those colors.
So, and that's what books do for all of us. The rooster who would not be quiet is many of us who are reading and not being quiet and enjoying those books. And that's how the gift of a book keeps you reading and keeps you being who you want to be as you're exploring through the many publications of books that are published each year. So these are just a few. You will be able to see the list of books that we have on our webpage and on our Facebook page, as well as a list here in the youth department. So come on in, find that list, and go shopping and try them out here at the Ames Public Library. Until then, until we see you then, please have happy reading.